hunt is on at Sac Comic Con, but will it be good? Yes, Jerry and I trekked all the way to Sacramento to attend this con, which we haven't been to in a while. We went on a Saturday, and there are several reasons why we attended this con. Some of them you'll hear in this next clip. Ron Lynn's here. Yep. Ron Lynn. Derek Robinson. Right there? You are correct, Jerry. So one of the main reasons why we went to this con was this guy right here, John Romita Jr. Jerry had some comics to sign, but I initially did not bring any because at the time I thought $30 per signature was a bit steep for my finances. I did change my mind. You'll learn more about that later. Another main reason why we wanted to hit up Sacramento Comic Convention is because of this man right here, David Lloyd. He is the illustrator for V for Vendetta comic series, which was first published and serialized in Warrior Magazine. Of course, Jerry and I got our Warrior Magazine's #1 signed by him. I debated about whether I should bring my entire run. However, I did not know how much David Lloyd would be charging for his signatures. Turns out he wasn't charging anything, so I kind of regret not bringing my entire run. That's because I think this was pretty much a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Alright, Jerry, who should we hit up next?
I don't know. Should we just walk around, check out the floor, see what's available for purchase?
Sure. And of course, we always find our way to a comic booth, even though comic books wasn't a big priority. At least it wasn't my big priority. Looky, looky, looky. It's the usual suspects over here. How you guys doing?
I thought you come to Sacramento to get away from us.
We can never get away from you guys.
How you doing?
However, it was around this time where I changed my mind about getting a comic signed by John Romita Jr. I didn't bring any comics. Big mistake. I do own quite a bit of comics that John Romita Jr. was a creator on. I had to look for something that I could buy for him to sign. And what popped into my mind was X-Men number 210. I saw a print of it at his booth and it reminded me how cool of a cover that issue was. If I can find a decent copy here for the right price, I'll get that for John Romita Jr. to sign. Another reason why I wanted to hit up SacCon was to see Ron Lynn again. It's been a while. I want to see if there is any original art he had that might entice me. Of course, stupid question. There were a lot of pieces that I wanted from him, but the real question was, would I be able to afford it? If not, then there were two pieces that Chris Marinnan had. I've had my eyes set on since 2025 at East Bay Comic Con. Yes, the very East Bay Comic Con that I met Michael Bean again for the second time. So back at that show at Chris's booth, there were two pages that had my favorite horror monster on them, which is the werewolf. The actual original art pages said it was for a comic called Sheeta. Never heard of it. Didn't even know what that was about. I didn't end up getting those 2 pages, so I swore if Chris had those 2 pages, the next time I saw him, I'd get them. This is what Jerry found for me, hunting comics. He's a bad man, get me in trouble.
That's what I do. I'm a pusher.
Lunchtime, and Jerry spotted this all-you-can-eat pizza buffet across from the convention center. So convenient. All right, let's see what this buffet is all about. Pizza, soup, and salad. 14 bucks? I was happy. Back to the hunt. So I couldn't find a decent copy of X-Men 210 at the price I wanted. However, I did have a backup plan, and this is it right here. Amazing Spider-Man number 239. Second appearance of Hobgoblin. John Romita Jr. does both the interiors as well as the cover. I saw this earlier when Mike was putting it back in the bin. When we came back for lunch, it was still here. It was still half off, so got it. And got it signed by the legend himself. Super glad that I changed my mind and got a comic signed by John Romita Jr. The guy is a class act. He brought such a positive energy. It seemed like he really had fun meeting and greeting with his fans. If he's ever at your local comic convention, I highly suggest you drop in and see this comic legend. Jerry hunting down some things that caught his eyes before.
Fill in gaps.
Magic.
It's how you do.
I believe after lunch, we stopped over at Derek Robertson's booth, and I decided to get this limited edition hardcover. It collects issues 1 through 6. Also got this really beautiful sketch by Derek Robertson of Billy Butcher. I actually forgot the character's name. Jerry had to remind me. So, can't wait to finally give this bad boy a read and enjoy the last season of The Boys. When I went back to get those 2 pages from Chris Marinnan, I actually found 2 more pages with werewolves on them that Lucida was fighting. That completely threw me for a loop. And you know me, I had to get those 2 pages, page 1 and page 22. How the hell did I miss these 2 pages? Because there's like werewolves all over them. These 2 were the ones that originally caught my eye. when I was looking through Chris's portfolios prior. I was set on getting these two, pages 30 and 31. Looking forward to actually getting the comic book and reading it now. So the comic is called World of Darkness, Vampire the Masquerade, Lucida. It was published by Moonstone Comics back in 2003 and is based off the RPG tabletop game Vampire the Masquerade that came out in 1991. Alright, so that was our adventure at Sac Con this year, 2026. It's been a while since we've been there. Glad we went. Everything went smooth. Hope you enjoyed watching this adventure as much as we enjoyed experiencing it. Surely hope that John Romita Jr. ends up finding his way to this area again in the near future. Hopefully in the Bay Area, so it's a little closer. If you went to this show in Sacramento, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.